Just here is a strikingly beautiful mushroom that is a fantastic meat substitute. This is chicken of the woods, a nice edible mushroom that's a great one for beginners because it's easy to identify and there's no toxic lookalikes. However, there are a few caveats that you do need to understand about its safe edibility, and I'll cover those at the end. This delicious mushroom is found in the UK from about May to August, although I know plenty of people this year who found it even in April. It gets its chicken of the woods name from the texture, which is very much like chicken, and to some extent even the taste, which although very mushroomy, can even taste a little bit like chicken as well. It's most commonly found growing out the side of trees, in particular oak, sweet chestnut, willow, cherry and yew trees. As you can see, it normally grows as these layered brackets, one on top of the other. When young, it's roundish in shape, but it becomes more irregular and fan-like in shape as it develops. Its Latin name is Lytiporus sulphureus, and you can see where the latter part of its Latin name comes from, this sulphur-like colour on top. Though it's worth noting that as it ages, this fades to a pale yellow or ivory white colour, and you definitely don't want to be eating it when it's like that, as it'll be far too old, tough and acrid. Underneath each slab of this mushroom are pores, not gills, and the pores are a white to pale yellow colour or sometimes just a yellowy colour. The flesh can be yellow or orangey right through to pale yellow and even off-white. The smell is very mushroomy and pleasant, but please note this mushroom must be cooked, and when it's cooked the taste is very nice. It's very mushroomy as you'd expect, and it can even taste chicken-like, and in particular it has the texture of chicken, which makes it a fantastic meat-like substitute, and you can use it pretty much in all the same ways as you would chicken, such as in curries, pies, stews, casseroles, fried, grilled or barbecued. Chicken of the woods is definitely best eaten when it's young and fresh. As a general rule, if the mushroom feels soft and has even a little bendiness to it, then it should be good to eat. But if the mushroom feels tough and breaks like chalk when you take it from the tree, it's probably too old. On some older specimens, as long as it's not too far gone, you can salvage the softer outer edges, even when the inner or middle part of it is too hard or woody. As I said before, there's no toxic lookalikes, but when it's young, it could become confused with a young dryad saddle, but that's perfectly safe to eat. And the other lookalike, which is also safe to eat, is the blackening polypore, also sometimes called the giant polypore. That blackens with age. It also bruises black when it's bruised. But as I said, that's safe to eat. All the same rules and caveats that I'll come on to apply to the blackening polypore as well. Now, before any of you rush out to forage and eat chicken of the woods, it's time for the caveats that you need to understand regarding its safe edibility. Firstly, this mushroom must be cooked. I know of quite a few people who've eaten it when it's been undercooked or raw and actually got a bit of tummy ache, so make sure you cook it well. I do recommend a good 10 minutes. 5 minutes would probably be enough, but just to make sure, 10 minutes is what I advise. Secondly, a small minority of people, maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 25, something like that, are allergic to this mushroom, so it's important that if you've never had it before to please just try a small amount first, a very small mouthful, cooked obviously, and then just wait 24 hours just to check for any reaction. If you are allergic, you may experience symptoms such as a tingling of the mouth or lips. You might experience a bit of lightheadedness or dizziness. You may even get some gastro upset as well. Third and final caveat is that there is some debate over whether it's safe to eat if it's found on a yew tree, because of course yew is deadly toxic, and some people worry that the toxins of the yew tree could get into the flesh of the mushroom and therefore make you ill that way. Now, I've heard a lot of mycologists who have debunked this theory. They believe that the mushroom or the mycelium of the mushroom would disassemble the toxin and that it wouldn't end up in the flesh of the mushroom, in the chicken of the woods mushroom. But I've also heard some reports of people eating it from a yew tree and getting ill, so who knows? I mean, from all the studies and research that I've done, I think that if you wash it properly and you only eat it when it's young and you make sure there's no bits of debris on the mushroom when you eat it, then it probably is safe to eat even if it's on a yew tree. But that said, on balance, I do go on record as saying I do advise you not to eat this mushroom if it's growing on a yew tree, just to be overly cautious. You could be forgiven for thinking, having just listened to all those caveats, that it's not really worth it, but believe me, it is, because it's a lovely mushroom. It is easy to identify. The vast majority of people don't have an allergy to it, so you can eat it safely. Just make sure it's cooked and make sure it's not growing on a yew tree and you're good to go.